Alrighty, welcome to the wonderful world of tan. Here we've got the tan ratio, tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Let's have a look at our first triangle. Now, this triangle, we can see our angle. We find our opposite side by looking straight across from him. And our opposite side is our 20. We know our hypotenuse is straight across from our right angle, so that's our H. And our hypotenuse and our adjacent side make up that angle of 40 degrees. So that means our X up the top, here's our adjacent side. Throwing them into our equation, we have tan 40, should probably put a T for tan, equals our opposite side 20 over our adjacent side X. Now when we've got our X at the bottom, we're just going to slide that top part of the fraction over and we'll end up with our 20 over tan 40 equals X. So to find our X, we're just going to throw them into the calculator and see what we end up with. We've got 23.8. Our second triangle here, again, we've got our angle, we're finding our opposite side. We've got our hypotenuse across from our right angle, and our hypotenuse and our adjacent side make up that 53 degrees. Tan of 53 degrees will equal our opposite side X over our adjacent side 12. When we've got the number at the bottom, we need to times both sides by it so that we can cancel them out. So let's cancel out the 12 by timesing everything by 12. We end up with X on our right and 12 times tan 53 on the left. As always, chucking him into a calculator and we find out what our answer is. So X equals 15.9. Awesome. In our third triangle here, we will be looking for an angle. So this is when we start pressing shift on our calculator. Only when we look for the angles, we press shift. But of course, we still need to find our opposite side. We can find our hypotenuse, and then we get left over with our adjacent sides. Throwing them into our ratio, we end up with tan question mark equals our opposite side 10 over our adjacent side 33. So our question mark is going to be the inverse of tan, or that tan with that negative 1 we've got pressed shift to get to. And 10 over 33 is our fraction. So question mark equals, throwing him into our lovely calculator on the side. Always be careful to make sure you put the right numbers in. Definitely helps with that. And our final answer is 16.9 to the 1 decimal place. And that was degrees because we were finding an angle. Our fourth triangle, doing the same thing, finding our opposite side, our hypotenuse, our adjacent, and throwing them into our equation. So we have tan question mark equals the opposite 13 over the adjacent 16. So we then have question mark equals the inverse of tan, 13 over 16. Remembering that the inverse of tan is tan to the negative 1. Throwing him into a calculator to find out what the question mark is, and we get our answer of 39 degrees to the nearest degree. We do have a fifth triangle here to have a look at. As always, we're going to find our opposite side, our hypotenuse, and then have our adjacent side left over. Tan of 40 equals our opposite of 7 over our adjacent X. And as we said at the beginning, when we have that fraction, we're just going to slide the 7 over to the other side and have 7 over tan 40 equals X. So X equals, throw him into the calculator to get our answer. And there we go. 8.3 to the 1 decimal place. And we're all good.